Good afternoon. Your Excellency, let me once again welcome you and your delegation. We are very proud in having you in the UAE just after the Prime Minister's very successful visit to the UAE, meeting both the Prime Minister and the Crown Prince. Your Excellency, let me also once again congratulate you on your National Day.
Thank you.
I don't know where we are on the football game, but this meeting has not allowed us to follow that. Both of us had quite a useful talk. We'll continue our talks during lunch, but let me say that the UAE has a very, very strong relationship with Australia. I'm looking forward to go there in the next couple of weeks, but also in the last few years the trust in the relationship has grown in many areas: education, health, tourism, the number of Emirati students in Australia, but also when it comes to airlines, flights between the two countries have grown tremendously. In terms of investment, that's an area that we would very much like to grow even further in Australia. Obviously, this would only take place if we can put forward a better set of arrangements and agreements, especially when it comes to an FTA, an avoidance of double taxation and protection of investment agreements. And we are all working together on these agreements, especially when it comes to the FTA. That's a matter where we are talking with our colleagues in the GCC, and we hope in the next few months we can expedite our talks between Australia and the GCC. Your Excellency, once again let me say I'm very delighted to have you here, and we're very delighted that we are working together in many areas, one of which is extremely important. We have a very close understanding and a common understanding when it comes to the fight against terrorism. Our two countries have suffered from global terrorism, and we think this is a very important time where we can continue our efforts bilaterally, but among our wider friends around the world, and continue facing this challenge. Your Excellency, please.
Your Highness, thank you very much for your warm welcome here. We may be competitors on the sporting field and may the best team win, but we are certainly close partners and friends when it comes to security and defence and economic trade and investment matters. Our bilateral relationship is close, it is deepening, and it is more diversified than ever before. In the trade and investment area, I have met with a number of Australian businesses who are here enjoying the opportunities that doing business in the UAE presents, and showing that there are many more opportunities for two-way trade. We are certainly looking for Emirati investment in Australia, and I very much look forward to your visit to Australia so we can continue to discuss the economic ties between us. In terms of defence cooperation, we thank you for the support that you provide to us for our operations in the Middle East. As you mentioned, we are united in our resolve to defeat terrorism, to counter terrorism as and when we can. We have had interesting discussions today, but also in recent times as we discuss the ways to stem the flow of foreign fighters, the financing of terrorism, and we will continue to discuss the campaign in Iraq and Syria, and most definitely the level of cooperation amongst the broad coalition of partners around the world who are committed to countering terrorism. In the area of our aviation links, I'm pleased to confirm that there are now 266 flights between Australia and the UAE amongst the 4 airlines, Qantas, Emirates, Etihad and Virgin. And this means that the people-to-people links are growing. You mentioned the educational exchanges, but tourism is a significant opportunity for us both. And we welcome Emirati tourists to Australia. We hope that there'll be many more. And finally, I want to thank you for your leadership, for the role that you have played in many multilateral forums and conferences where you have spoken very strongly against the threat from terrorism. And I thank you very much for the strong statement that you made after the incident in Martin Place in Sydney, and we deeply appreciated the words that you said on behalf of the UAE, but also the wider world on that occasion. And I'm looking forward to these discussions continuing over lunch.
Thank you very much.